my name's Pav Bhogal. I got my Whitworth Scholarship in 2015, and I became a Whitworth Scholar late last year in 2017. And I'm currently working for BA Systems in the Naval Ships Division, looking at software integration.
Thank you very much. And can you tell us, just in terms of the scholarship itself, what made you go for it?
So the point of the scholarship is obviously for those who are kind of in vocational roles at the moment, so apprenticeships, that kind of thing. There were a few guys in the years above me in my apprenticeship at BAE who had actually applied for it and actually got the scholarship. And then through my college, I heard about it again, and I heard that it was a really good kind of networking opportunity. Obviously, it was a scholarship, so it would help you with funding, etc. So after hearing about it and talking about it with a few people, I just kind of applied for it, went for it, and ended up getting it, and haven't looked back.
Did it have an impact on your life?
Yeah, I think so. I've definitely made the most, as much as I can, out of it so far. Obviously, the funding really helps. So I managed to buy a few kind of utilities for university while I was studying. So new laptops and things like that really helped kind of push me and allow me to kind of study a bit harder. But as well as that, I think the network is kind of the main point. So being able to talk to different people in different areas of engineering, different sectors, different disciplines, I think is the best thing. And just being able to kind of pull on that resource if you need advice for anything.
For those people who are not familiar with the scholarship, what makes it a special program in your opinion?
So in my opinion, kind of similar to the last question, really, I think the best thing about the scholarship is the fact that it's linked with the IMechE, which is obviously great if you're looking for professional registration later on in your career. But it's the kind of support network that goes behind it. So you get to talk to people who are in different sectors of engineering, who are working in different locations around the UK, who have probably worked abroad at some point in their career as well. So it's almost a really good mentoring network that you can pull from. But as well as that, like I said, it really helps when it comes to that professional registration as well. In my opinion, it's almost a step towards chartership. And most of the guys who are Whitworth scholars are chartered or are on their path towards chartership. So again, it's being able to pull on that information and guidance whenever you need it.
And just in terms of your daily work, would you be able to give us an idea of what kind of work you're involved in at the moment?
Yes, so it's been a bit crazy. So I've moved into this software integration role very recently, probably in the past 6 months. So prior to that, I was working as an aerodynamicist in our future combat air systems business, looking at intake design for unmanned air vehicles. And for personal reasons, I actually moved down to London very recently, and trying to stay with the company, I moved into software integration. So it's a completely new role. But on a day-to-day basis, it's kind of pulling together bits of software, testing, certifying, and delivering to customer. So we've got a lot of different kind of lab equipment around here, or computer lab equipment, where I'll be installing software, testing it, trying to fix various components of hardware, and trying to certify everything so that we can deliver it to the Royal Navy.
What do you think are some of the big challenges at the moment for engineers?
I think one of the biggest problems in engineering at the moment is obviously we've got the 2020 skills gap. So literally just trying to recruit enough engineers, and I think retain them is probably the biggest thing. So I think within industry at the moment, we've got a real issue with an aging kind of population of engineers. So in the next 5 to 10 years, a lot of the engineers that we know and love who do a lot of our work will be retiring, or will be wanting to leave for various reasons. And there's a bit of a gap between that age group and the age group that we have now coming into engineering. For some reason, there was a bit of a recruitment a lower recruitment drive within that gap. So it's being able to transfer that knowledge over to the guys who are coming into the businesses now, and trying to retain all the knowledge that we've learned over the past few years. And as well as that, obviously comes into that diversity in terms of trying to recruit as many women to engineering as we can, trying to recruit as many ethnic minorities as we can. So I think that's going to be a really big challenge, but I think it'll be quite interesting because I know we as BA are trying to push that very hard at the moment, and I think, I know that a lot of other companies and sectors are trying to do so as well. So I think it'll be interesting over the next few years to see what happens.
Do you think, as an industry, engineering has taken some big steps in that direction to try and get more diversity?
Definitely. I definitely think so. So I've been involved in quite a few kind of events recently, working with various different companies that are literally set up to try and help people from difficult backgrounds or ethnic minorities into engineering roles, specifically. So we work with a number of universities, a number of schools, and essentially we invite a lot of students to an information day where we give them some help and guidance on CV writing, on interview techniques, on various kind of things that you might go through on an assessment day, and essentially how to present yourself to a company, and all the right things to be doing kind of while you're at university in terms of joining different societies and all that good stuff. So that's kind of like something that we're doing as BA, trying to link up with other organizations out there who are trying to help in that area. So yeah, I think we are doing a lot, and that's why I think it'll be quite interesting to see what happens in the next few years, because I think we will see a huge increase in women within engineering over the next few years. And I think we're already seeing an increase in kind of the ethnic minorities going into engineering jobs at the moment. So yeah.
So Joseph, when he was active, obviously it was the Industrial Revolution. There was a big expansion of railway networks. Today, 150 years later, it's a very different world. It's the Facebook era. It's the digital revolution. We're talking about 3D printing, about all these new technologies that have come in. If he had to magically appear today on the streets of London, what do you think he'd make of the world as it is today?
It's an interesting question. I think he'd be amazed at how far we've come in such a short period of time. I think it's probably quite similar in terms of the challenges that we face in terms of difficulty. So I was actually at my old school careers event the other night, and someone actually asked me, do you think it's harder to be an engineer now than it was 20 years ago? I said to him, I can't obviously comment because I wasn't an engineer 20 years ago. And my opinion on it is that I think the difficulty is probably the same. It's just that the challenges and the technology that we have now are different, and that's literally it. So I think he would be amazed at how far we've come, but I think he'd probably find a lot of similarities in terms of the requirements of and the needs of the consumers and what people are actually trying to do in terms of develop that technology. It's now more digital and now more software orientated as opposed to hardware and rail networks and that kind of thing. So different but the same.
And finally, what would your message be to people who are considering applying for the scholarship but may still be on the fence?
I'd say definitely apply. So one of my kind of philosophies throughout my career so far is to essentially never say no. If you're given an opportunity, always go for it. Say yes as much as you can. Try and get involved as much as you can. And the Whitworth Scholarship itself is, like I said before, it's a great support network. It's a step towards professional registration. It helps you kind of develop your understanding of the industry and different sectors that we work in. So I think it's a great opportunity, and I would definitely recommend anyone to go for it.